everybody, welcome back. This is Leigh with teachingacademia.com, and today we're kicking off a series about field research. And so in this video, I want to just give you an introduction to field research. And there's, a number of different ways that this can happen and look. And I'm coming at it from a social science academic background, so keep that in mind because what I'm going to tell you can vary a little bit across fields and contexts, but I want to just give you the basics and then we're going to go out from there in future videos. So first of all, what exactly is field research? So field research is when you go out into the field where your participants are and you study them within their everyday context. So for example, I have done a ton of work in public schools, and I often ask questions about how students, particularly those that have reading difficulties, are participating and engaging in classroom life. What's supporting them, what's not supporting them, what kinds of actions these students engage in, what kinds of actions they don't engage in, and what fuels that, right? What is their perspective? I've spent a lot of my career trying to understand the perspective of this particular population. To do that, right, there's a number of ways that I can go about doing that, right? I can interview students, I can survey students, but I can also go into the classroom and observe students, all right? And observe teachers and observe how teachers are working with students that have reading difficulties and how students are responding to that, all right? So that's what I mean by field, right? The question that you ask will determine the context that you visit, okay? So that context, that's your field, all right? And the lovely thing, the fun thing, I think, about engaging in field research is that you get to see what people do and also what they don't do. And we're gonna talk about this in a future video because what people don't do is sometimes just as important, if not more so, than what they actually do, all right? So it's important to pay attention to both. Over time, as you're taking notes, you'll start to develop patterns in terms of understanding what people do and don't do. So you get to see that within the context that you're in and possibly learn why they do and don't do these things, all right? So field research is going to include observational data, right? You're going to be out there in the field, whatever that is for you, and you're going to be, right, observing people. And there are different ways that you can engage in these observations. I'm going to do a video on that as well. Today, big picture, broad, okay? So you can go out, you do observations. You might choose to conduct interviews, which will give you insight into those observations, okay? Help you confirm your understandings of what you saw, or in some cases, help you understand that you did not understand correctly the things that you saw, okay? So interviews can be a very important component to field research. Now, for academic research, all right, in the social sciences, you need to be in the field long enough so that your claims are viewed as valid and reliable, okay? So for me, what I tend to use as the marker, and I've been very successful with this, and when I say successful, I don't want to sound like I'm tooting my own horn here, but when I say successful, I mean I've been able to publish in top tier academic journals. My research has won awards for studies that were in the field, okay? And so what I have found is that about 60 observations, and this is not for an ethnographic study, this is just kind of basic field research, like a case study or a multi-case study, or just learning to understand a context, about 50 to 75 hours in the field will really help you learn, what that context is about, right? It'll help you get in your head around it, okay? You might need to spread that out over time. You might do it, in a period of a month, right? Or a couple of weeks. There's a number of ways that you can structure that. But 50 to 75 hours I found is a really helpful guideline, okay? So that is the basics of field research. Now going on into other videos, we're gonna be breaking this down and talking about it a little bit more. So we're gonna be talking about how you take notes when you're in the field. We're gonna be talking about field notes. We're going to be talking about analytic memoing. We're going to be talking about something really cool that I think is really cool, and I've done it a few times, called live field notes. I've got some other notes over here I'm kind of looking at. We're going to be talking about participant versus non-participant observation. We're going to talk about how you structure your field research and how you actually take those notes, right? How do you set up your field notes so that they work for you and provide you with valid and reliable data? All right, so any questions that you have about field notes, head on down in the comments, put them there, because that's going to help feed and fuel future videos on this topic.